Okay, wait. We have
Mimolette
to get it
cheese?
from the start. Okay, your favorite cheese is...
My favorite cheese is Mimolette cheese. It's made
What is
with
that?
cheese mites.
That's the thing we're talking about.
It's illegal here.
Oh yeah, you told us that. I think you told us about
that's the thing we ate at the Museum of Weird Food. That's the
Was it
thing
Mimolette or was it another kind?
It was the thing that had the bugs in it.
What color was it?
It was white and yellow.
No. Okay, so this is yellow.
Okay, so we probably got like a really young version of it. Yeah.
Mimolette, dude. It used to be
Not
illegal
yet
and then,
very
and
infested.
then I found one place down the street in the hipster part of town. They'll sell you the smallest little block of Mimolette cheese for like $20 because I think they're illegally
they're probably making
in
it
here
illegally. Yeah,
maybe probably.
Does it include the mites?
Yeah, they're not paying the mites, dude. Classic
capitalists.
So Ricardo, you're into the weird cheeses?
I'm lactose intolerant, so I can only eat certain cheeses.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I think the weirder the cheese, the less lactose it has, maybe?
No, not the weirder, the harder the cheese. Just like
and the older.
The harder.
Yeah, so as cheese gets older, bacteria starts eating away at the lactose and it starts converting it. So
yeah, I like my cheeses like Riker likes his dick.
Oh.
Yeah,
old
hard
and
as
hard.
shit, dude.
Yeah, old, hard, and full of crystals.
Yeah, full of crystals
and mites. Lots of mites.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Before we get started, I want to say this. I haven't said this in a while. If you're a new listener, welcome, friend.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
I think you
here.
actually said this last episode.
Did I?
You always begin this spiel with, it's been a while since I said this, but you said it like the episode before, man.
I don't know what time it is.
We should recap for every episode.
Yeah, guys, this isn't for everybody, dude. I'm telling you now, dude. Don't start with your bullshit like, oh, Ricardo can't remember fucking names. I can't remember a lot of things, dude. Certain things I'm really good at, dude. I can tell you who was the cinematographer on Bloodsport, but I can't tell you what the fuck these people are called. The Memonites. I can't remember a lot of names and stuff, but it's okay, dude. We love the show. We're doing it because we like it. Calm the fuck down, dude. If you're an old listener,
yep,
not in age, but you know, in wiseness. Welcome back, guys. Carol, Tim, all the regulars, dude. Thanks for listening. Thanks for writing in. Charlie, you fucking bet me. The Tapatio artist, beautiful fucking art. The best art. The best, dude.
I hope the Tapatio guy is listening. Yeah,
he's always listening.
He's got his little headphones on.
He's in heaven.
You know?
You mean Tio Tapatio himself?
Yeah, he's dead. And
is his name
Tapatio?
Is his name Tio Tapatio?
I don't know.
That would be sick. You know?
No. I mean, he is probably somebody's
uncle.
Now
I wish it was. I don't
know. But
Tio.
If you're an old listener, thank you for listening and thank you for supporting. Thank you for the emails.
Yeah.
Even though I don't read them. Thank you for the comments. I don't read them as well. But knowing that they're there somewhere, it fills my heart. Even the bad ones.
Yeah.
Because the bad ones, it means that you hated us so much that you're like, I can do nothing and just turn this podcast off. But I choose to say, fuck you. And I'm going to leave a review. I'm going to take 5 minutes out of my day.
Someone is wrong on the internet. I need to go and comment as why they're wrong.
Yeah, the internet's fucking Batman. You show up with your fucking comments and your bad reviews. I love that too, dude. It doesn't matter, dude. You're in it to win it, and I'm here for it. Good comments, bad comments. That's what this world's about, dude. This is what Star Trek is about. Good episodes, bad episodes. You know?
All in between.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, 4 minutes in. Let's get that intro.
Well, I mean, we could just say that we saw the Outcast this week.
That we did.
By the way, no real Outcast in this. Not one fucking Miss Jackson song.
All right.
We have to get it out of the way. So that we feel bad about it. So yeah, this is Star Trek's clumsy attempt to talk about LGBTQ issues.
It's a very messy, jumbled version of... It's a very messy, jumbled take on it, I think.
Yeah.
But it's very, it's of its time. It was 92.
It's of its time. It's clearly trying to address it sincerely. I do like the sentiment that all of the people involved had, which is they were saying, hey, it's been really long overdue that we discuss LGBTQ issues at all, because we've had a lot of close calls. The closest being when in The Host, where Deanna's lover went into the body of a human lady, and we almost had a lady makeout session, but they decided to pull that back right at the last minute. And I think a lot of people actually wrote in and were like, hey, what the fuck? Why didn't you guys have...
Where's her hot lesbian makeouts?
Have Beverly... Did I say Deanna before? It was Beverly. Why didn't you have Beverly make out with this lady? You know, they were lovers before.
What are you talking about? What episode is
Remember The Host with the little worm guy?
And how at the end it inhabited a lady?
Yes.
And then Beverly was like, oh, I can't be into that. Go away now.
She literally says something along the lines of, it's like, this is too advanced for me. I can't do this.
Wait. Is it the one where Riker was it for a while?
Yeah, it was in Riker for a while. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember it going from Riker to a lady.
Yeah, the twist at the end. Yeah, is that...
did this lady volunteer, like, as tribute?
Yeah, that's essentially kind of how their society seems to work. Yeah.
Yeah, the worms rely on, like, a race of hosts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much to say about this episode. With all that being said, I'm happy it exists to talk about.
Yeah.
Especially for this time period.
Yeah.
Which was around 90 something?
1992.
92.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Makes sense.
The 2000s, the late 2000s.
God.
I mean, this is, at this point, 31 years ago.
Yeah. And for its time, they're attempting to be progressive. I mean, one thing I really like is that everyone involved went out of their way to say, hey, we are not going to both sides this. This is an issue entirely about bigotry, and there is no need to try to justify the side of bigots. We're only going to just discuss the struggle. And
although it seems that Star Trek in general, this show seems to pick and choose when it decides to portray society's culture and norms as noble. When they don't agree with our own ethics and sensibilities.
Yeah, but, you know.
also
just
though,
saying.
On that
common
point,
theme.
On that point, Marvin, even though this is I guess you could classify it as an LGBTQ,
an attempt at one.
At the end of the day, it's still a very like heteronormative relationship that we're seeing, which this is the first Star Trek episode, I will say, that I actually did some research because I was just so fascinated by
like
this
after
episode.
The fact, when you were like,
usually I don't. I try to kind of stay out of it and leave my feelings on the table.
You're becoming a real fan, as they would say.
But now I'm kind of, it only took this episode. Well,
I'm joking. I don't believe in shit like that.
This one I did some extracurricular reading, and I found out a lot of interesting things about this episode.
No. Let's save it.
Well, yeah, we'll save it.
We'll give you a bucket.
I will save it, but I will say this is the first episode where I did do extracurricular research because I found this episode really fascinating.
Yeah, it is fascinating. It certainly was a lot of discussion when the Outcast first aired on March 16th of 1992. Dan, let's go around the sun.
Wow. All right. So it's a little more time in between airings. So I think it's been about 2 weeks and change since the last airing. On March 3rd of 92, President George H.W. Bush began admitting publicly during his re-election campaign that breaking his original campaign's promise of read my lips, no new taxes, was a mistake.
Why would he bring it up at all?
It was actually kind of a way to appease people who were constantly like needling him about it. Like, what about the fucking taxes, George? Taxes, George?
Well, he did it like instantly. That's the issue. He didn't even like wait. It was like one of the first things.
The thing is, like, I think it took him that long to really publicly admit, like, yeah, my bad, and he needed to do it for his campaign to move forward.
I guess. Yeah. Well,
also around that time, Michael Jackson's Remember the Time peaked at number 3 on the Billboard charts. Then on the 6th of March, The Lawnmower Man released in theaters.
Oh, Ricardo's favorite. Oh, man.
I thought we had talked about the Lawnmower Man already.
I think you tried to guess that the Lawnmower Man was involved with something, and then we ended up talking about it, but it wasn't actually related.
I think you were like, oh, yeah, this is like the Lawnmower Man over and over.
Right. And then a week later, another notable movie, My Cousin Vinny, starring Ralph Macchio, Joe Pesci, and Marissa Aunt May as a car expert. It went on to win an Oscar.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the best courtroom dramas of all time, actually.
It's actually praised by lawyers for being so accurate in its proceedings. It's actually used as like an example for some people.
Yeah, Legal Eagle actually does a series where he examines how accurate court proceedings are in fictional media, like movies or games.
Yeah, apparently it has relevant information on the nature of using expert witnesses.
Yeah, and he even interviewed the screenwriter and was like intrigued by like, how did you know so much about how to do this for real? I think like the main issue he took with is that you could not get away with just not dressing up correctly in court. They would probably make you go home. But it's a comedy.
The seemingly simplest
It's a comedy. It's a thing. So
you know what? I don't agree with that, dude. I don't agree that we should dress up for fucking court or fucking everything. You know why? Some people that don't have money that don't have the money to fucking buy clothes like that. Second of all, motherfucker, you're wearing a fucking robe.
Yeah.
A robe, dude. You're fucking the most relaxedly dressed person here, dude.
Well, underneath the robe, he's wearing a full suit.
We don't know that.
They make you dress up for jury duty.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
I don't do that anymore. I've never done that.
It's definitely a perception issue. Like lawyers and their clients definitely don't technically have to dress up. It's just that lawyers always insist their clients dress up because, you know, juries tend to be biased and we are being judged by a jury of our peers, not by experts, right? So, you know, experts with an objective viewpoint may be able to look past what someone's wearing, but a jury of, you know, average Americans probably wouldn't. So
here's the thing, dude. If we're gonna have a jury of our peers, you know, in quotations, let me tell you what, dude. I want to see what these personalities are like, dude. I want to see them dressing in their real life clothes, dude. I want to see if these people have fucking the sneaker game on, dude. Because I want them on my jury. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
if you're wearing Reeboks, get the fuck out of here, dude.
If I wore my usual sandals.
I'd be like, out, dude. This guy's out.
I would say, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I think they explicitly sent like a little thing out before where like, you must wear closed-toed shoes. I was like,
this guy has his feet out in the courtroom? No way.
I'll also wear my long pants.
Oh my God, Marvin. Oh, it's such a pet peeve of mine. I can't even explain.
Thus concludes our trip around the sun.
No, wait, I have one more thing.
Oh.
In 1992, when this episode aired, two young boys met at the Lenox Square shopping mall.
Oh.
They were 16 years old. Those two young boys became friends, and that year they formed a band called Outcast.
Oh.
Wow.
What? For real?
Yeah. 1992 they formed. Yeah.
Oh,
1992.
Shit.
Yeah, look it up.
Oh shit.
That's fucking crazy.
Shit. That's fucking crazy, dude.
The world is crazy.
I don't believe you for a second, Ricardo.
Look it up, guys. Look it up. It's in the fucking history books, dude. It's called Wikipedia.
Wow.
I thought you were gonna say two boys fell into a bucket of cream.
What are the chances of that? That's so crazy.
Just as a quick aside, that scene when Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can, when he uses it as a prayer to impress the girl's parents, if I was the parents, I'd be like, what the fuck was that? What kind of prayer?
But to be honest, dude, if someone asked me to pray, that's what I would do. Because I don't know how to pray. Like, what are we going to do? Like, Jesus, the great magician in the sky, please grant us wishes. I would do
the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air prayer, which is yum, yum, thanks for the grub.
2 if I see.
That's rub-a-dub-dub.
Oh, yeah, he said rub-a-dub-dub. Yeah, thanks for the grub. Yeah, perfect.
It's got to be a couplet.
And we're done. Done. But you know what's not done? Our relationship with ExpressVPN, because they've been good to us. And you know why they've been good to us? Because they're such a reliable VPN, you know? We've been using them before. We loved you, baby. We've been using them before we even started the podcast, and they've still been good. They come out with new stuff all the time. You got the key manager, the threat manager, all sorts of cool things are adding to their new products. And this whole time, they've remained not just super secure, but also super fast, like the name suggests. And if you guys want to try out ExpressVPN, which is, we've been talking about it a bunch of times, so you already know about all the quality points about ExpressVPN. But you can do the research yourself. If you Google ExpressVPN, you'll see that it's always ranked consistently near the top or actually at the top in most people's rankings of VPNs. And that's not a coincidence. It's because they are well-trusted, well-known, and have a great track record. And if you want to sign up for ExpressVPN, you can always
go to Tesla of VPNs.
No! They're the opposite.
Why would they will get you arrested?
Why would you throw a wrench into this? They're
the Apple of fucking VPNs, dude.
They're like the Volvo.
There we go.
They're like the Volvo of VPNs. Apple will fuck you over by pretending they're your friend and then rescinding policies over time. Volvo, safe, dependable, always good over the past few decades. They've been great, So it's
I don't know about that.
If a war breaks out, they won't get involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to go to get that VPN, head on over to expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 12 months, they're going to give you 3 months extra for free. That's a 49% savings. That's a pretty good deal. It means it's only $6.67 a month. That's a pretty good deal. And if you just want to try it out, they do a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can just try it out for 30 days and you're like, I don't know if maybe I do want to enter the internet unprotected without a VPN.
You have nothing to lose. Try it.
Just send it back. But again, expressvpn.com/newbie Star Trek. And if you sign up for 12 months, they'll give you 3 months for free.
I have to say this about VPNs.
Oh, okay.
Apple TV, one of the best companies in the world. They have their Apple TV, the little box. That's what I use. And they just had an update.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're letting VPNs put their apps on.
Oh, nice.
Onto the Apple TV. And I want to say 4 different companies have already released their apps on there. So you could deploy your VPN on your Apple TV to geo-hop, allegedly. And I think what I read in one of the Reddit boards is that I think ExpressVPN is going to do it soon.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that. Hopefully that happens, because then you won't have to do it on your laptop. You know how I said that allegedly, if you put on a VPN on your computer and you turn on your Disney Plus account, you'll get all the free Hulu stuff. Yeah. Allegedly. I heard from a little birdie. But, now you'll be able to do it on your Apple TV.
Also, we don't get a commission for talking about this part, but ExpressVPN does sell a router that has ExpressVPN built into it. It's called AirCove. You can look it up on Amazon.
We haven't used it, but
I haven't used it personally because I'm a little. If I wanted to, I would know how to install it onto a router. It's a little annoying, but you can do it. But if you just want it done for you, and it's super easy, and it's apparently a quality router just on top of that, you can get an AirCove, and that just puts your whole thing onto ExpressVPN all the time. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, our other sponsor, though, Ekster, EKSTER. I learned the other day, Ekster is actually Dutch for magpie. Those little birds that like to collect shiny coins and whatnot, which makes sense. It's like a little thing that holds.
Oh, that's cool.
Holds money.
Yeah, little thieves.
yeah. These little thieving wallets that you can buy from Ekster.com, where they
collect your shiny things.
Yeah, they do have aluminum versions of their compact, sleek, stylish wallets. With
solid gold.
They're Dutch.
Yeah,
they say aluminium.
I forget if they're actually Dutch, but they're actually European for sure. It's for
sure aluminium then.
Well, they have an aluminium version of their wallet.
There we go.
But they also have their classic Parliament. They have the ones that are made from they hired Italian actual leather tanners to make a even fancier version.
Italian?
Yeah. So I don't know. And for a while they had a gold wallet available. I don't know if it's still available. They also had a messy wallet available. I don't know if that's available. Messy as in the football player, not just that it's disorganized.
Just disheveled shit, dude.
It's not just a slopped up wallet.
Yeah. But they do other stuff besides wallets too. They have laptop sleeves and
maybe they'll get a Creed fucking wallet, dude. That says with arms wide open.
That's one thing I think they should start looking more into is branded wallets. you know, because they have their aluminum wallet now, right? You could put them in.
Star Trek.
Starting with Creed.
Star Trek.
Yeah, start with Creed.
Start with Creed, dude. Like, move your lyrics, dude.
Yeah, move your way to Star Trek over time, you know. Follow the natural progression.
Yeah.
Creed, World Wrestling Entertainment, then Star Trek. You know, that progression. That's how you get to that.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to check out what they have, all sorts of stuff like everyday carry bags and backpacks and keychains, and of course the wallets. The thing I like about the wallet is the quick access button, where it makes the cards all pop out in a fan motion, so you can easily grab a card anytime you want. You can head on over to shop.exter.com/newbie, or just use offer code newbie when you check out at exter.com. That's EKSTER.com. And it adds an additional 25% off any order you're making site-wide, which means if there's an ongoing sale, it just stacks with that sale. You just get a bunch more money off. And a bunch of other stuff. Free shipping on any order of $50 or more. Free returns within 100 days of receiving your order. A 12-month warranty at least on all products. And free tool card with any order above $125. So again, that's shop.exter.com/newbie, or just use offer code newbie when you're checking out at exter.com. And it adds an additional 25% off any order site-wide. All right, let's get into it. There's a lot to talk about. Denise is eager to talk about this episode.
Ricardo, could you please tell us what happened in this episode?
I can, but I won't. The episode
Not
starts
tonight,
off.
Denise.
Oh wait, one thing before we start. One thing before we start.
One thing. With arms wide open.
Not this society. This society does not want anyone's arms wide open.
They'll shun you, dude.
Everyone,
with arms wide closed.
Everyone's not welcomed to put their arms wide open. Yeah. I just want to say that I am so watching this episode made me really happy.
You. Oh.
No, it made me okay. Well, okay. It made me happy that we live in a time where people are just starting to respect people's pronouns.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
no, we
we're
don't
just
live in that
starting. It's becoming more mainstream for people to use pronouns that are outside of he, she, her, his.
It is funny in the episode itself. Riker is like,
I work with a non-binary person who goes by they, them.
I do too, and I love that.
I did too.
I love that. Like for the first time at work the other day, someone introduced themselves and they said, "My name is X." I don't know.
Tim's
my name. I think it was like name. My name is Sam, and my pronouns are they them. What is your name and what are your pronouns? And I was like, wow, I've never been asked that at work before, but I love that. And for those listening, my name is Sarah, and my pronouns are she, her. But I think it's cool that I think we are. I'm happy we live in a time where that is becoming more common. With that being said, I'm going to refer to the female identifying character.
She identifies as female, so
she identifies as she in this episode.
Soren was her name.
Soren. Yes, I'm going to refer to Soren,
California Soren,
using the pronouns she. So let's get that out of the way first and foremost before anyone comes for us.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
this is a coincidence, but it's also probably because whoever wrote Star Trek Generations just didn't do any fucking research. but
Generations?
Yeah, because the villain of Star Trek Generations is also named Soren. So.
But is there a name California?
Okay, I didn't know that. I was like, I've heard this name before.
Exactly.
And I think
it's
but I don't think it was even in Star Trek. I think I've heard it in some other franchise too.
Maybe. Oh,
Soren's a very popular name, dude.
The first villain of Mass Effect is named Soren.
Yeah. Soren seems
we're all
pretty
big
popular.
fans of Mass Effect.
It's like, one of those like cool kind of sci-fi names.
It's a pretty sci-fi name, I'd say.
Oh, the screenplays by Ronald Moore and Brandon Braga, Star Trek Generations. So good job not doing your fucking research.
Oh wait, yeah, we're talking about that.
Yeah. But the screenwriter for the Outcast was Jerry Taylor, a lady.
The band Outcast.
Yeah.
But I mean, before we even get into the episode, I do want to say, well, no. I'll save it.
You said so many things, Sarah.
I'll save it.
You made 3 announcements already.
I'll save it.
Here's my rebuttal to your announcement. I think we live in a state that's very liberal, and you're seeing that with eyes wide open, as someone said.
What, that we're starting to recognize pronouns?
But not.
Okay.
It's very much in our own circle.
Yeah, I would say.
For sure.
I would say
for sure.
95% of the rest of the country is not on board.
I know that, but we live in California.
Yeah,
and even as liberal as California is compared to the rest of the country, it is starting to make its way into everyday life, which I'm happy to see, even though it's not where I wish things would be. But hey, little by little.
It is interesting that, like, because I'm pretty sure the concept of they, them existed since the 80s, but it was so...
Can your pronouns be anything?
I think even prior to that.
Yeah, but like it was so not in the mainstream at all that in the episode, Riker literally has no idea how to address her.
Yeah, well, the concept of the singular pronoun, has been part of English for, hundreds of years. Like a very long time. Referring to a singular person as they. Like, there's been scenarios in which that applies. But it's usually in a sense where it's not already defined or specified.
Yeah, where you don't know the person's gender. Like, oh, what time are they coming to pick up the car? Like,
right. When you don't know specifics about a person, that's when they can remain a they. And most people only think of they in that context. And so they never make that jump.
Yes, I think, I just find it interesting that it's even at the time of writing, it was a well-established concept. But the writer, Jerry Taylor, just didn't know that, because
well, when you say well-established, it's also 92, where even though it's established and in research somewhere, it's not always readily accessible to everyone who might want to know about it.
It's just interesting that wasn't even in the mainstream consciousness at the time.
It was 92, man.
I know. It's just I just find that interesting.
But at what point do you think maybe it was a choice versus they didn't know?
I think it's a they didn't know, because I think they're trying to write Riker as progressively as they could for this episode.
Well, I found out that Riker / Jonathan Frakes really wanted this actor to be male. And no.
So Riker, that was his primary criticism of the episode.
So that makes me wonder, they had definite places they weren't willing to go. Even though the episode is supposed to be about LGBTQ gay issues, they were not willing to have Riker be interested in a man.
But also, sometimes notes aren't from the showrunners. They're from the network.
So I know where that's specifically from.
This was actually from Berman. This is actually the producer.
So this is a specific Rick Berman issue.
Yes.
Rick Berman is quietly...
He's homophobic.
Not so quietly homophobic.
Yeah.
So he had trouble picturing audiences being okay with Jonathan Frakes kissing a male actor.
No, he had problems picturing it. No, he didn't want people to think Riker was gay.
I'm just describing what he said. He said that he would think audiences would have trouble. That's what he said. And then... he tried to figure out other ways to generally discuss it. I think Jerry Taylor, with the support of Michael Piller, was given leeway to kind of write what you wanted. But once it got into production, it was kind of Rick Berman being like, don't do that. We're doing this. Don't do that. We're going to do this. So it's Rick Berman being Rick Berman.
I mean, Berman really made spearheaded it for it be a hetero relationship, because Frakes was like, I'm okay. I actually want a male or androgynous person. I have no problem Riker being portrayed as bisexual or anything like that. Like, Frakes actually wanted that.
Yeah,
and
I think there was
denied that.
Yeah, I think there was a third-hand account where someone overheard that Rick Berman was telling Jonathan Frakes, oh, I know you wouldn't be able to do that. And then I think it was Jerry actually who overheard the conversation. And I think she was saying it's Jonathan Frakes. He's a very forward actor. He would have no trouble being.
No, he specifically requested.
But it was Rick Berman trying to justify it to Riker or saying you can't do that.
Jonathan Frakes literally said to them, please cast a male, or I don't mind being, I think it'll be really good for my character to be portrayed as bisexual. And they shot it down. They said no.
Since the point of the episode is that they were trying to make a morality tale about homosexuality, when it leans into it being that heterosexuality is the opposite it muddies the message quite a bit.
And at the same time, it's also kind of non-binary erasure. Because
yes,
it's like
I brought this up too during when I was watching it. Yep, 100%.
Yes.
Because like this conversation is all about homosexuality and homophobia, but it's ignoring this entire setup that's using a race of non-binary people that's presented as like an outlandish allegory that can't even exist.
Exactly. 100%. I literally said that when I was watching this episode. I was like, non-binary people exist. So I don't even.
Yeah. So that's the other problem.
So this is like a fascist non-binary society.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Like it's the other problem with the episode is that I think the writers at the time, I guess it's Jerry Taylor or Michael Piller, they just didn't know the distinction between sex, gender, and sexuality.
Oh yeah, all that is such a
they just think it's all kind of the same somehow, and it's sort of like
completely muddled.
Yeah, it's like they're tied together. Like Soren's sexuality is tied in with her gender somehow, which is not how that works. So
But they knew that in 1992. We knew the difference between sex and gender, right?
I think
I'm starting to question this.
In the public consciousness, I literally think they did.
I don't think so.
I think
really? You don't think so? In 1992, we didn't know that there was a difference between sex and gender.
When you and I were in grad school, I had conversations with students who didn't know the difference between sex and gender. And that was in the mid 2000s. So I don't think this was in the public consciousness, I think in hindsight, we can all claim, we know the difference. But I genuinely think in the early 90s, like people were like
the same thing.
If you have a dick, you're a guy. If you have a vagina, you're a girl. And it's like gender and
there
physical
sex. There are people
sex.
listening to this podcast saying, yeah, that's fucking right.
Yeah, exactly. So like this is.
I promise you this.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is that like
crazy.
Not just that, but I think the writers for some reason compounded that even more by mixing that together with sexuality and claiming those are the same. And that's the issue.
See, like, why is this episode about? I think this episode is more about like trans identity more than homosexuality.
Yeah, but they thought they were telling they outwardly said they were telling a homosexuality tale, which is the problem.
That's not what that is. That's not what this is.
Exactly.
Okay. Anyway. Sorry, we totally took over Ricardo's.
Sorry. Yeah, but it's
I don't even know. I don't even know if I have anything to say.
No, well, you were
sorry.
Tell us what actually happened.
There's 3 jokes I wanted to make, and you killed them all, guys. God damn it, dude.
We got all serious on you.
Yeah, dude. Fuck,
sorry.
Dude.
Go
I
ahead.
had a joke about bigots. Bigots is something you call somebody who wears shoes 3 sizes bigger than what they wear. Fucking bigots, dude. Also,
you know what the Janai look like to be? They look like the Thermians from Galaxy Quest.
Oh my god, they do.
They're
your help.
Yes.
We need your help.
Also,
one
I was
of
having a
us is
conversation.
trying to be a woman. Need you to change her back.
So I was having a conversation with somebody who was talking about like how he hated like how people had to like he had to like it was a really stupid conversation, dude. It was about how like I was like, you're not being put out by calling somebody however the fuck they want to be called, dude.
Yeah.
However they identify as.
Yeah.
And this person is a bit religious, that who I was talking to. And I'm like, goddamn, Mary identifies as a fucking virgin, dude. They set that up in the fucking Bible, bro.
That's true.
And then he had nothing to say. But anyway, that was a joke.
Then known as the Virgin Mary, right?
Yeah.
What if we were all identified that way? Like, I'm Virgin Sarah until further notice.
The funny thing is, like, the Virgin Mary, yes, she had, according to the tale, a virgin birth, but then she
was like, immaculate, bro.
But then,
immaculate.
But then she had like 5 more kids.
It was mint.
So she clearly didn't stay a virgin.
Yeah, but also like the
virgin formerly known as Mary.
Dude,
you know, like
just think about it, dude. Just think about it. Just let's put ourselves there for the sake of comedy, okay? Hey,
for the sake of comedy.
Hey, Joseph, I have something to tell you. Oh yeah, hold on? I'm working on this table here, but hold on, let me put this thing down. You sure? What's up? And he's like, you know how we haven't fucked.
Oh no.
Yeah. And you know how you've been wanting to, but we haven't? Yeah. Crazy fucking story. You're not gonna believe me,
dude.
You're not gonna believe this.
I wouldn't believe it if it had happened to me.
You wouldn't believe it?
He's like, okay. What? Like you found like some old man gave you a goat? No. Funny story, dude. Funny and unbelievable. Well, what? Tell me. I'm fucking pregnant, dude.
What?
Like,
that's not my baby, right?
Fucking angel.
And he's like, but we haven't. And he's like, yeah. Hold on. I didn't get to the funny part yet. And she's I'm gonna stop.
This is exactly how the conversation went down. I'm sure.
That's how I imagine it.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to homosexuality, dude, and how evil it is. No, here's the thing about this episode is that you consistently, Sarah, repeatedly will give humanity more credit than it deserves. And you're like, repeatedly. And I don't know how many times I gotta shoot you down. No, like humans are pieces of shit, dude. They don't understand it now. You think that they understood it in 92?
I want to believe that they understood the difference between gender and sex and used they them pronouns or whatever pronouns someone wanted to go by.
You live in a beautifully sheltered
in 1992
fucking place, and it's not that case. So they nestled this really what is about, like you said, like they try to fit two stories that they thought were about homosexuality.
Yeah,
but these pegs aren't going into these things, you know?
No,
it's more like a concept and then a story that tries to attach itself to the concept.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, is this what they thought? I mean,
but you know what? Good on them for going there. Like, I mean,
they're trying.
Like, I can see how this would relate to, at the time, homosexuality and gays and lesbians and things like that, and the violence that was happening towards them, because specifically when Soren talks about the class member who got beaten up and things like that, that's where I think, okay, they're highlighting the epidemic at the time. They're
the conversion therapy stuff.
The conversion therapy. Like, that's where I feel like, okay, they're touching on things that's
very direct.
Gay and lesbian people have to deal with. But then there's all this other outside stuff that is not necessarily, I think, would fall in that category. But it's like they tried to do like 10 things at once and it like didn't work really that well.
but also, to be fair, look, and none of us I mean, at least I think none of us should be on this podcast should be, we're not the experts in that, but in this topic, but also what you identify as and what you what your sexuality is, your preferences is two different things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of try to do that in this episode, and they tried.
Mm-hmm.
It may have not been successful, but they tried for the time. I mean, good on them. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what,
A for effort for sure.
Yeah, but like, I mean,
like the way it's portrayed is clumsy, but I think they get closer to like the heart of it, especially when Soren does like her speech near the end, where it's all about like, there's nothing wrong with us. We are who we are. We're just people. God damn it! Like that's it. Like that goes for literally anyone, and so that message itself can remain universal no matter what no matter what happens.
But I will say, okay, Ricardo, though, even with your piece of shit mentality of humanity, I mean, they still are like pieces of shit because nothing happens in the end, right? Like, it's just like, we're just shitty.
Remember how I said,
I've
said this before, how like my mind will run away with what I think is going to be, and then and then I try to catch up to that. Mm-hmm. Here's what I thought it was going to be.
Okay,
that Riker was going to, when he saved those people in that little black hole, I thought during that thing that was happening, I was like, oh, maybe he'll try to put her in the pocket reality. Like, he'll find a way to put her in that pocket reality, and then she could just kind of not live in the society and kind of live on her own. And maybe like they'll take people who don't want to conform to the society. They'll take them to this like pocket reality or pocket fucking wormhole. That's what I thought was going to happen. Like, oh, they'll branch out. Like the fucking Irish did, not in the Star Trek world, Irish.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly grim ending for a Star Trek episode.
It's a very tragic ending.
It's realistic.
Yeah. I find it an interesting.
But don't you think that, like, for the most part, Star Trek is about, and that's kind of, I love stories that end bad, like on a bad note, or like in a non-hopeful way. I love that because things aren't pretty, and that's kind of like my favorite type of movie is kind of like the 70s movies, because you didn't need to have a good ending, like the Graduate or whatever, you didn't have, because life is messy. Some things are good, some things are bad. Like in The Graduate, great, she's not tied to a shitty marriage that she didn't want to be in, but also they're not happy at the end.
Now what?
Now what?
They were driven entirely by temporary emotion. Now that they're settling in, they're like, what the fuck was this all for?
And I wish, and I appreciate that about Star Trek, that it tries to be like, hey, look, this is hopeful, like the future could be like this.
I was about to say, cool.
And I wish there was more like this, because I do like this, like, take for instance,
you were a fan of this ending.
Yeah, because things aren't,
it doesn't end well, presumably,
there's
for Soren.
Hope. Yeah,
or for anybody.
There's not even the hope of like, now that Soren said this out loud and she got the message out, other people are going to try doing stuff. It just seems like, nope, they just snuffed it out. And
Soren went through conversion therapy, which seems like some kind of mind-altering state / drug / something
sinister as fuck.
Something sinister that's...
I'll admit, I kind of let out a laugh when, after her impassioned speech was over and the act break came back, they just said, cool story, bro, lock her up.
Yeah. Thank you for being so open about this.
Yeah.
Just fucking grab
50
her.
lashes.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Dude, they don't fucking care at all.
And I wish more episodes were like this. I know it ended up in a bad note, but I kind of like that, because it not all stories have a happy ending. And,
it's unusual for TNG. TNG in particular has tried to end a lot of their allegorical stories on a potential sign of hope, right? Like even the symbiosis episode, the drug allegory episode, they were like, they're going to go through massive withdrawals and there's going to be some sort of bloody revolution, but in the end, the people will be free.
But in time.
But here, there was no path towards reconciliation.
They're like, this is the conversion therapy fucking planet, dude. From
what an efficiently run society.
I wonder if the writers just didn't really know how to end it, because during the time they were highlighting the issue, but there was really no clear solution or even opinion or side to be on.
I mean, they might have been trying to highlight the tragedy of it. It's like, well, look, we demonstrated that this was a person who lost their personhood to an extent.
But they didn't necessarily take a moral stand on, like, at the end as like, okay, do you need the villains to like receive comeuppance for a story to take a stand? In the Star Trek universe, I think it's the norm. I personally don't think that.
I don't think there needs to be comeuppance. And I agree with Ricardo. I think it actually is an interesting change. My initial reaction when I was watching with Sarah, and Sarah knows, is that I was like, I don't think I like that ending. I think it feels so different from what TNG is. But I think the more I think about it, it's more of like, I think it's actually good they didn't have a happy ending. If this was
how sorry to interrupt, but it just like it reminded me of this all of a sudden. Like it reminded me of Growing Pains from Batman when Tim Drake found the Clayface girl that didn't remember she was part of Clayface. And then eventually at the very end she just dies because she re-merges with Clayface.
And there's no
she's gone.
There's no happy like way to reconcile. I think for an episode that is like this, it's clumsy, but it's attempting to be a moral tale, a moral allegory about a real life problem. I think if you ended it on a happy note, the audience may feel like, all's well that ends well. Where in reality, you may want to actually try to not kind of motivate your audience towards being like, that sucked. I don't want that to happen here.
I think that's kind of what I'm getting at.
I feel like they were really just highlighting the issue rather than trying to be like, and this is where you should take a stand. Like they were.
I don't think they're saying you should take a stand, but I don't think that people want to. They wanted to trick people into thinking this will just sort itself out.
Well, by the end of it, the message is clear. Conversion therapy is a horror.
Yes.
It's awful. Like, I think the story itself is a bit contrived. I think it's a bit odd that Riker does fall in love with her so fast when it doesn't seem.
I mean, it feels about as like it rings as untrue to me as Deanna falling for what's his face from Masterpiece Society.
That's true.
Or it feels as fast and as like weirdly intense. It's or why this one?
Or Beverly falling for the host.
Do you think it's because
guy?
Time and space feel different in space?
It's warped in these episodes around their relationship.
He's like, a day feels like 35 years.
Well, yeah, this was also an episode where there was a rare moment where Riker bothers to go to Deanna and say like, hey, FYI, I'm falling for somebody. How do you feel?
That's an interesting scene.
That was really weird that we finally got one of those now.
I feel like that was Riker saying that he was super serious about Soren had he been allowed to continue the relationship.
And I wasn't ready to buy it at that point, which is why I'm like, why is this now?
Yeah.
I didn't buy it at all.
I
don't know why they chose to do that story-wise.
Here, I'm going to say it out loud, dude. Riker is like Kanye West, dude. He fucking loves bombs, dude. He loves bombs, and then he moves on to a different person.
Yeah.
But I think it was an interesting scene because I think we got a deeper insight into what Riker and Deanna's relationship is like.
Yeah,
it's almost like they have a relationship and are sort of definitely entangled with each other, but because of probably like either like work related or other personal reasons, they go, but we're not like committed fully. But we're
friends with fringe benefits.
They're poly, dude. But they won't. These fucking cowards writers won't write it like that, dude. I'm kidding. You guys are great. If you're alive. Here's the thing, dude. I think Riker just likes to fuck, dude. He doesn't care what kind of hole it is.
There's so many instances where Soren is pouring her heart out to Riker and saying all of this stuff, and then Riker's just like, "So are you sexually active?"
Yeah,
and it's just like, what? Like, why was that the first question?
Yeah,
after she pours her heart out to you.
To be fair, no, but wait. But to be fair, they were on they were taking the shuttle, and out of nowhere, she's like, "So what's the dick situation like?"
Yeah, it's like, tell me about your dick.
They do it to each other. It's true. It's true. They
I
do it
wanted
to each
Riker
other.
to be like, "I have a picture if you want to see it." Like that's not.
Or
not
maybe
Riker,
or maybe Riker could have been like, I guess I could just show you now, and then you start.
Yeah. I did like this episode where, for the frankness of her being like, "So tell me about your penis. Like, how does that work?"
Yeah.
And Riker's like, he goes into it.
It's really well. It's fun, awkward flirting.
How does the jumpsuits work? Do they have a zipper in the front, or do they have to take the whole thing off?
So apparently, fucking people on the internet have been debating this, and apparently, supposedly, it's just mentioned somewhere. This is all fucking like future.
Is there a dick hole somewhere?
No, this is apparently like future clothing that can morph into whatever you want.
No, not buying
apparently. So apparently,
this is not the 3C cell situation.
If you wanted to turn it into a T-shirt, you could kind of just like mold it, and it'll turn.
So
into a
you mean
T-shirt.
the uniforms? The Starfleet? No,
apparently.
Wait, Starfleet uniforms are this?
Wait. So remember,
like the Marty McFly fucking jacket that just like shrinks.
Sort of like
your jacket is now dry.
Remember.
Yeah, they piss in it. They don't take it off. They just piss in it.
No, in Star Trek world, they would just transport the piss away.
Yeah,
off of the person.
Jacket is now dry.
I fully believe it's a onesie, and if you want to go to the bathroom or take a poo or something, you have to take the whole thing off.
Apparently, according to people, that episode.
Are you a poop naked person? Because I can't stand those people,
dude.
I cannot stand people who have to disrobe completely.
In my 20s, it felt so fucking good.
No, that's so weird. That's
there are times when you have to fight for your life.
No,
you can't have any obstructions.
No clothing. There is literally people out there who, no matter what, have to take every single piece of clothing off. In order to go to the bathroom.
I was just
no contamination, no chance.
Sarah,
you fling your clothes across the room.
I'm actually kind of agree with them. I don't do it myself, but hey, why risk getting poo anywhere on your clothes?
Exactly.
Here's the thing.
There's actually a good line of thought to this.
Here's the thing. The best way to poop is just Porky Pig it. Like leave your shirt on. You know what I mean? But everything in the bottom, take it off. Relax.
That's
have
what
a
I
real
do,
good
actually.
sit down. and then
if I'm at home, that's what I do.
Just you Porky Pig it?
Yeah. That's what I do. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Obviously, when you're in
now,
public,
I don't have time. I don't have time for that luxury now. Marvin, you don't have a child, and you have that beautiful.
Sarah
beautiful
knows.
luxury.
Yeah, I spend like 30 minutes in the bathroom.
Marvin's gone for like 3 hours.
I'm like long done, but I'm just sitting
do.
there, just checking.
But I just don't have the extra time to disrobe to Porky Pig it. You know?
What if there's an emergency and someone needs to come in and help you and you're completely naked?
Now I don't do it.
It would have been embarrassing either way.
Yeah.
Pants around ankles or pants completely off. They're both embarrassing.
Here's the thing. I'll confess another thing. My wife and I lived together for a long time before we had a child. And we were used to, when the door's closed, someone's pooping in there probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't burst in there. And also we're adults that knock, dude. But having a child and still having that rule changes everything, because that fucker will come in like he's a fucking police, dude. Like he doesn't come in like
rush the door down.
He doesn't
He kicks it down.
He doesn't gently turn the knob and then open it. And be like, oh, someone's in here. Apologies, father, and then leave. No, he comes. It feels like he kicks the door and he's like, hey, I have a question. The Xbox won't turn on. It's like, I'm taking a shit here, dude. Get the fuck out of here, man.
You've added 5 more minutes to my poo because it went back in because it's scared.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is so true. I have a niece, and whenever I visit her, I have to put multiple layers of like deterrence for her to get into the room. Like, it's crazy.
You can't just lock the door?
No, I lock the door, but then it's like Ricardo said, it's the pounding. It's almost like the police are at your door. It's the like there's an emergency and you're like, whoa, I'm on a work meeting. Oh, like if I have a work meeting or like a call or a video call,
that type of thing.
I have to like lock the door and like put a sign out and be like, do not come in here, please do not bust in here. And it's still not good enough.
Throw the kids away. It's fine.
Yeah, just kick them. Just kick her.
Can't get a moment. Or like I'm changing my clothes or something and I like lock the door just to get a moment to change in peace. And she's like, why are you locking the door? I'm like, well, because I'm changing my clothes. And she's like, so? I don't care. Let me in. And I'm like, I just want a minute to change my clothes. Like kids don't like understand like privacy for like just,
that
2
that
seconds.
I'm okay with. That like,
I know, but
care.
like sometimes I don't know what I'm changing into. I don't want to like just have you chilling in here like while I'm trying to figure out what.
Sometimes you just don't want the kid there, regardless of reason. Sometimes you just don't want the kid there.
I understand privacy. I'm like, and mainly it's usually because I want a minute to myself just to think.
Sometimes you just want to be alone for a minute.
Nah. When you have kids, that's not possible. They don't understand that.
Regardless of context.
They don't understand that at all. I'm sure. If my niece doesn't understand it, there's no way a child of my own would ever understand that. So
I Porky Pig it. That's a listen to the story.
Yeah, I agree with the Porky Pigging it if you're at home. It's hard to Porky Pig in public.
You can never Porky Pig in public, dude.
Yeah, that ain't no good.
That involves taking off your shoes. That's not possible.
I've seen dudes with sandals go. I just might as well take off the pants. And I've seen somebody in the stall just take off their pants and
that's
just hang
not
them
okay.
up.
Oh my god,
that's not okay.
The thing is that
is so disturbing.
Yeah.
You don't know where that floor.
Yeah.
If you can manage it without touching the floor, more power to you, I guess.
Yeah, no, I feel like people can.
How?
Like if you're wearing shorts.
No.
I can already see the goddamn comments in this episode. You guys did 20 minutes on fucking shitting without pants on. Okay, so
anyway, Starfleet uniforms. I think it's a take off the whole thing situation.
Porky Pig it.
So apparently, according to people on the internet, it's like this special meta clothing. That it can open from any side. It's
Marvin. If you're going by the people on the internet, dude, Tupac's still alive, dude.
Yeah,
I know.
Let's never.
So the lesson on the internet. Lesson of the story is don't listen to any comments.
No,
they're all full of shit.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is that
you. Stop hitting the table.
She was just trying to. Yeah, dude. She, them, they all they wanted to do was not fucking jizz into a fucking banana leaf, whatever the fuck they do. A corn husk, yeah. A corn she's like, we make tamales and make babies the same way.
Tamales. We inseminate tamales.
We inseminate tamales in corn husks.
We create an egg, we put it in a tamale, and then both of us insert into the tamale.
And we steam that.
You know what's so funny? Like no joking.
We all are born with all of the masa we are going to have for the rest of our lives.
No joking. I'm always looking for an interesting take on tamales, and for a while every year I'd make pizza tamales or different tamales, and I thought, can I put an egg in a tamale?
Yeah, you can.
But you can. But the real thing is that what tastes the best are red pork tamales, and then once you've had them for a couple of days and they've been refrigerated, you take them out, you put a little lard on the pan, you fry the tamale, and when it's almost ready to go, you put an egg in there.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, that sounds good.
And then you mash up the tamale with the egg. Fucking delicious, dude.
That's almost like tamale chilaquiles.
Yeah. Tamale
I was thinking you're frying it so hot that it becomes crispy.
No. You for it to taste good, you either have to mix it in, and then that way you're getting a little bite of everything, or you do the egg separately, and then you get the yolk so it runs onto the tamale.
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Yeah. I want to make the tamale it's really crispy. Whatever you're
in the mood for. Because you're going to have, during Christmas, I have 30 extra days of fucking tamales after that. So you really got to get inventive with the way you eat tamales.
So I have a question about the corn husk thing.
Yeah, they fuck it. They jizz into them.
So me and Marvin were
it's like American
kind
pie.
of debating about it. Is it so Soren says the parents inseminate the corn husk.
Yeah.
And
go on.
But they don't really say, do the Janai have normal penis and vagina? Why is it not just, they don't really clarify, not that I'm what sexual organ do you have? But when you're talking about insemination, wouldn't that imply that some people have vaginas and some people have penises, or do they all,
maybe they have
or do they both, or do they both inseminate, or is it an IVF situation?
I think it's like a chicken. They all have eggs, right?
Okay, they all do.
They all have eggs, yeah.
And they're all laying husks.
Yeah, if they put them in the husk, if you put them in the husks,
in the corn husk,
they're like the Virgin Mary. That one gets inseminated magically. And
by who?
By the husks.
Or is it like fish where they just randomly spray, their reproductive material all over the husk, and
that too.
What happens?
Yeah, is the husk from a parent, or is the husk scientifically created?
She says that the parents inseminate a husk.
But they don't say where the husk comes from.
And then I looked up the definition of what is inseminate? Okay, what is the true definition of inseminate?
What does that lead you to?
Is it? Yeah, do not Google inseminate. So
Google inseminate.
Don't Google green pies, dude.
Just make sure you have your VPN on, ExpressVPN.
Yeah, dude.
So basically, I thought maybe, is this an IVF situation where you have an egg from one parent and a sperm from another, and it goes into a husk, and then we kind of do the thing? Or is it some futuristic thing where both parents have sperm of some kind? Because to inseminate means you have to let me look up the formal definition again.
We're in the weeds here, dude. We're really in the weeds.
It matters.
Well, I think
she describes it as a fibrous husk of all things. Why fibrous?
So the definition of inseminate is introduce semen into (parentheses) a woman or a female animal by natural or artificial means. Sentence: the mares are inseminated when they are at their most receptive.
You're describing a human, though. Or
but that's the word. That's the definition of
You're describing Earth mammals. Really.
So okay,
it's specifically to sperm being introduced to something.
So looking at Memory Alpha specifically says there was a stage where their two physical sexes had been passed by evolution. So physically, they are all the same sex.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
They're the dick and the eggs.
So the Janai are all the same sex.
Sex, yes. And because of that, culturally, they're trying to tell everyone they are also the same gender.
But what is not specified in detail is the reproductive methodology?
I think because they all are the same physical sex, I think my mind is going to, they create some sort of husk, like scientifically, or there's some engineering, and then they inseminate it together.
Yeah, they seem to imply that the husk does not originate from one of them.
Okay. Now, wait. Now, how you're describing it, Marvin? Now this whole this being more about someone being gay as opposed to non-binary is making more sense to me, because technically, let's say for the sake of this, let's do numbers. So males are 2 and females are 1, and these people are like, oh, we're 3s. We're not male or female. We're 3s, dude. You know. And then this girl's like, oh, I want to fuck Riker, and then now there's someone like, ooh, you're gay because you're not a 3. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to imply.
That's kind of what's happening.
Yeah, but I think that's sort of like.
But they're using different as a like synonym for homosexuality, but like being different.
They're conflating gender with sexuality.
There's so many different things you can.
Yeah,
be.
but
I don't know.
But
it's just
your gender, you could change your gender, but still like the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the problem that comes up is that it's not merely that Soren had sex with Riker. It's that Soren is having sex with Riker while identifying as female.
Did they have sex with Riker?
Or at least had some sort of intimate physical contact.
Yeah, they did one of those blackout on kissing.
Maybe like an off-screen situation.
But so in my head, he just cornhusked her, you know?
Which is interesting. Actually, you bring up sex though, but like Soren is really clear. While the insemination of the corn husk seems super boring and like trivial.
Are coming back to it, aren't you? You're coming back to the corn husk.
Yeah, the corn husk. She did clearly say, "Don't be mistaken. We have fucking amazing sex."
Yeah, foreplay lasts forever.
Or they have other ways to get pleasure. Yeah, that is like mind blowing.
They could do the old Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Like headset, dude. The Apple headset.
Like Riker seemed intrigued when she talked about it. She's like, oh, no. We have like exciting sex. And Riker's like, do tell, you know?
Yeah. He's like, tell me more about these husks. Do they play the harp? And so here's my thing, dude.
Yeah.
When they released the fucking that video for the fucking new Apple VR thing, half of the people watching were like, how do we use this for sex? How do we fuck?
More than half.
How do we use this for sexual pleasure? More than half, really. Like 95% of the people were like, how do we get off?
It's at least a secondary
priority. The other half were saying, how do I integrate this into my already established VR studio for sex?
How will this improve my current setup for sexual pleasure?
I'm telling you, this is why humanity is very unevolved, dude.
And 100% of them are male identifying.
No, Sarah. Look, we're equal, dude. You wanted this, dude. You guys wanted equal pay? You guys are equal perverts, dude.
It's true. Women are freaks too.
Yeah.
I don't know of any
there are plenty of women
who...
freaks out there.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, dude. All right, dude. Look, this episode. It's very difficult to talk about this episode. We haven't really talked about it.
We can just mention the.
I want to take key moments of it. How about that?
Yeah. Just
because look, like we said, we've been trying to figure out how to like. It's not that it's a touchy subject for us, but it's just like it was weirdly written. I like, again, I appreciate the writers and everybody.
And about half of it is expository. It's them explaining how this works.
Riker trying to fuck somebody, dude, and thinking he's in love, dude. God damn it, he's a fuckboy, dude. And one of my favorite things is when they're on the shuttle and they're going to the Phantom Zone. Yeah, and they're like. And then she's like, so what's the dick situation like?
Yeah, or out of nowhere, yeah.
But literally, he was just talking to somebody on the Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see him click the off button or anything.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm pretty sure they can hear everything.
Jordy's like, Worf, this fuck, she's asking about the fucking dick.
Why did they ask about his dick?
And he's like, am I muted? Worf, am I muted?
We're muted, right?
Yeah, we're muted. They can't hear us, right?
Everyone,
I could fucking hear them,
come listen to this conversation. Yeah. It reminds me like
Captain,
when you're listening to something at work, like through the walls or doors or something. You're like, oh my God, can you hear that?
Captain, I know you're in the writing room, but come here.
Guys, shut up. They said that they have a lot of pleasure. they don't fuck the normal way, but they get a lot of
And there's something about a corn husk.
Yeah. You think these people are Mexicans? They come from the Mexicans?
They never said the word corn.
And Jordy's
they never mentioned corn.
They would be like the coworker that's like, they just said husk, not corn.
Yeah. Why are we assuming
all of you to HR?
Why are we assuming they're tamales?
It's true. I don't know. If someone says husk, I immediately think corn.
There was a place, speaking of mild racism, there was a place that Marvin and I used to work at. And they sent out their Cinco de Mayo, like, hey, come celebrate in the cafeteria. And it was a skull with 2 AKs.
Oh my god!
Skull with 2 AKs.
Yeah.
Stop. Ricardo, stop right now. Stop right now. Yeah. It was not.
I have the email still.
That's not real.
Where I was like,
also, they celebrated Cinco de Mayo, but not Dia de los Muertos. They were like, let's just do Cinco de Mayo. And then just be like,
well, that's what we could drink.
We'll have a cart going around full of like cheap Mexican candy and tequila.
Did they send out an apology email after saying we are so sorry for the?
No, it didn't reach the public. Why apologize?
And I sent an email. I sent an email to HR, and I was like, it was a funny email. I thought which was like, I get the skulls, like. But I'm like,
Ricardo's like, look, let me break this down.
But I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, maybe you could clear it up. But what's the deal with AKs? And like, also,
are you
like,
implying something?
Yeah, like, also, like, but also, like, isn't that like against? Aren't we like against workplace violence? Like on a different level? Like we don't want to condone people bringing AKs to fucking work, dude. And they got back. They were like, we'll look into this, and they never looked into it. Dude.
Oh they don't fucking
my
care.
God, that is so crazy. That's like absolutely insane.
Now that I said that,
remember, this is a workplace that also called Ricardo Rodrigo for about a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's
super
the thing.
easy to confuse.
Yeah, you look just like Olivia.
Yeah. The truth is, though, that producer, I got a lot out of him, though, because he felt so bad. That, like, every time I had to do OT or something, I'd be like,
you signed your name.
Sushi? And he'd be like, yeah, you could order sushi, dude. It's fine. $100 sushi?
All right,
yeah,
Rodrigo.
That's fine, Rodrigo.
I'll be Rodrigo.
You signed to Rodrigo. Who's him? I don't know Rodrigo.
And then every time we
you could have gotten 2 paychecks, dude. You could have also gotten a Rodrigo paycheck.
I know, I did. I'm gonna piss off some people by my next statement, dude. And I'm willing to put Marvin in the forefront and receive all the negative messages.
That's fine.
Emails.
That's fine.
I'm gonna say it here. I'm gonna say it clearly. I fucking hate tamales wrapped in banana leaves. I fucking hate them, dude.
You're against the banana leaves.
Yeah,
why?
you come at me with fucking tamales with wrapped in banana leaves. You get the fuck out of here.
Ricardo, you're that's my culture. That is my culture. We do the banana leaves.
Get out of here, Sarah.
Yeah, pastels are just tamales with banana.
I'm a corn
we do the banana leaves.
I'm a corn
husker. Yeah, but they're called pastels, though. Then, right?
That's true.
But they're called pastels. But I mean, you know, but we
they're essentially tamales.
They are. But we do the banana leaves. That's my favorite part. The banana leaf.
I won't stand for this pastel erasure.
I mean, you don't eat it, but I think it adds a nice flavor.
You're still in my culture, dude, and calling them pastels, dude. And then you come at me and you spit on the fucking Aztec's fucking face and fucking use banana leaves, dude.
I can't believe you appropriated tamales, Sarah.
So I'm curious.
My culture did.
Do you just not like the texture or flavor of it?
I get it angers me, Marvin. It angers me, dude.
So it's irrational.
Racist thing to do.
What's this fucking green shit? Yeah. It's too green,
dude. These
beautiful.
Whoever these people are, they're putting goddamn olives in these tamales, dude. And I
don't think I like.
Yes,
you know
we do. Okay. We do put olives and raisins.
Put raisins in them.
Raisins,
and those aren't I'm like, I don't like that.
It's fucking delicious. Fuck you guys. Raisins. This is my culture, okay?
You know what?
I know, but once the raisins
kimchi's my culture, and I don't really care for it.
It's delicious. But when I was growing up, the banana leaf was my favorite part. I love
it. If you want to get
I just liked. I don't know. I just like licking it and like.
I mean, if you want to get even.
You're a little bit leaf eater?
I'm a banana leaf licker, yeah.
Oh my God.
Listen,
you heard it here first.
If you want to get even further stray further away from God for tamales.
Yeah.
In the American South, when they make hot tamales, they're in fucking parchment paper.
Ew.
No, you know what?
That I can't get behind.
What's parchment paper?
It's just like paper that has been...
is it like waxy?
It's not technically. It's not wax paper.
It's like wax paper without the wax.
It's got a thin sheet of silicone around it so that it doesn't stick to things.
Oh, okay.
And then they wrap the tamales in that and then boil that.
Wait. But they're within the paper. They're in corn husks, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Because
that's
husk. How a lot of Mexican families do it. So especially like if the tamale lady that sells tamales,
yeah,
she'll wrap them in because that way they're more like sanitary and like she could.
The husks themselves don't seal necessarily on their own. They need like a separate thing if you're giving it to someone. But if you're doing it en masse, it's more difficult.
Yeah.
But in the American South, it's just the parchment paper.
Nah, that's gross.
So
you know what, dude?
No.
The banana leaves are grosser. Anyway.
I love the banana leaves. I'm a banana leaf flicker, and I'm not afraid to admit that.
Get out of here, dude.
They do carry a slight
with tamales like that. I'll throw them out, dude. I'd be like, you know,
I have to admit, I like the moisture that the banana leaf imparts onto.
You know what? You would be a banana leaf sympathizer, dude.
You have to be here with me. Yeah, you have to
be. Yeah. So another thing I want to point out is a scene where they're eating fucking soup, and Riker's like, "Oh yeah."
He's essentially taking her out on a date.
Yeah.
And the first thing he gives her is split pea soup.
Yeah. By the way,
yeah, it's delicious.
Out of all the soups,
pulling out all the
grossest soup,
an Alaskan favorite.
He could have said, "I program in the fucking." He's like, "Look, there was a shitty place called the Olive Garden back in the day." Nice. And they had shit Italian food, but they had this one soup that had potatoes and it was delicious, dude. And I programmed the machine to replicate that.
The Zuppa Toscana.
Yeah. Zuppa Toscana and breadsticks from fucking Olive Garden. And instead he gives her fucking green vomit ass fucking pea soup.
They're really leaning into Riker's like I grew up in Alaska heritage in this episode. Because like he says, "Oh, split pea soup, just like I grew up in Alaska." And then at the party later when they celebrate, because the whole point of the episode technically is that there's some sort of like void space that is near their planet, the Janai planet, and a shuttlecraft got lost in it. So the whole point of the Enterprise being involved is so they can
1
rescue
hour and
them.
60 minutes in, we're explaining the plot.
Yeah. So they succeed. There's a lot of jargon, but they end up being able to go into the warp, the void space. And they save them. Yeah. And so there's a party, and at the party, Riker is like, "I'm not a party guy. I don't like crowds. I like to be alone." You know?
And then he tells them at one point, he's like, "Excuse me, is this salmon wild caught?
Is this is it line caught?
Yeah. From is it farm? Is it farm? Because I don't eat that shit, dude.
Is it wild from the stream?
Did a bear actually catch it and hand it to you? Because if not, I'm not using this.
That's how my dad used to do it.
No, my favorite part of that scene is when they go off like looking at plants, and she's like, "This is my favorite manilin tree. First it's white, then it turns blue. Right now it's green though, but trust me, bro."
Yeah.
These are not plants from planet Earth.
This is certainly not just a pine tree.
Or a fern.
They tried their best. They tried their best.
Yes.
I did like the canoodling in the woods.
It's cute. It's cute. Yeah.
Dude, you know what?
Geordi with a beard. Why?
Sometimes.
And bad ADR.
Dude.
There's a story behind that, actually.
What happened, dude?
So Geordi with the beard is...
He was auditioning for a movie?
No, LeVar Burton just likes having a beard. And they actually told him for 5 seasons, "Don't get a beard. You're Geordi. Geordi doesn't have a beard." And apparently for this shoot, he just showed up with the beard. And then they were like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And he's like, "What are you going to do about it? Let's shoot."
Okay, so...
And behind the scenes, here's what I'll say. Behind the scenes...
I respect it.
There was a guy that looks like fucking David Caruso. And he's like, "Have you guys seen First Blood? I say we choke out fucking Geordi and fucking straight razor him."
In subsequent episodes, Geordi will have lost his beard again, so he clearly lost the fight. But
did anyone notice how badly his lines were ADR'd?
It's
I wonder what the story is behind that.
He couldn't talk because of the beard. He's like, it makes me.
Maybe the beard is actually maybe they're loved. And his beard is so scratchy.
Oh.
I don't know. So there's got to be some weird story around why they did such poor ADR to.
He might have had a cold or something. I don't know. Maybe that's why he didn't shave. Yeah.
Maybe the producers just insisted, hey, you know that beard day we shot? It turned out really bad. LeVar.
Oh, they're making him do double work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Punishment.
Oh, punishment, dude.
Okay. I also have to point out one really amateur, bad, technical mistake that was almost earth-shattering. The eye lines for the conversation with Soren and Riker, the eye lines in that little tiny crawl space where she's on the floor and he's looking up to the heavens.
It's like a classic film student mistake.
It's such a bad eyeline mistake, and it makes that scene, even though it's also the type of mistake important.
That if you're not a film student, though, you don't really notice it.
No, come on.
You feel it, but you don't notice it.
Yeah. You can see her looking up at him, and then they cut to fucking Riker looking all the way the fuck in the sky. You've been in the film school
for way too long, Sarah.
Dan's correct. People don't know why it's off, but they feel it. And the reason, especially in this scene, why it's weird is that, okay, so first of all, they probably technically shot it that way because of the cramped shooting area.
Or they shot separately. They weren't even in the same room.
They probably should have cheated it more, but for whatever reason they didn't. It's just the nature of TNG.
They shouldn't have done this. Don't put her on the floor then. Just have them look at each other. I don't understand. It just is so hard because Riker's eyeline is actually so high. It doesn't even look like when I'm looking at the scene right now and he's like literally like looking up. And I'm like, why?
Maybe he didn't want to look her in the eye. He was lying. You know how you look up and away?
He's like, oh, I'm not interested. He's looking everywhere but at her.
He's like, yeah, I have a big dick.
It just really bothered me. And it's so sad because this is a really, really important scene and that just the eye lines don't match.
Because what happens when you have eye lines that way is that the feeling you impart onto the audience is that the person who is viewed from below, which is Riker, tends to be in a position of power. Whereas the person who's viewed from above, which is her case, tends to be in a position of weakness. Like this is classic John Ford, theory of filmmaking.
Yeah, Ford F-150.
Yeah, so because of that, it's setting up this weird dynamic where he at least feels like he's in a position of power over her when it really shouldn't be that. It should be a moment where they're both being vulnerable and open, but. Yeah, it sort of cocks it all up.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this is also the scene where he's just like, after she says all that, he's like, so are you sexually active?
How does sex work?
Yeah. After she says her entire, bares her soul to him. And he's just like, yeah, so do you have sex?
Basically comes out to him, essentially.
Yeah, essentially. And so his response was also just very disappointing in that moment. But anyway, I just had to get that technical issue out of the way because it bothered me so much.
I watched this, and guess what? And I know the rule, and I didn't care.
Really? It didn't bother you? It bothered me.
Yeah, I didn't really mind it all that much myself either. So
it was so distracting, and I'm usually not distracted by things like this, but this I found really disorienting.
I think the other thing is that, especially when the conversation starts out, she's in full darkness below and he is brightly lit. It's almost like their blocking when they were shooting each other's sides were different. Yes. I have a feeling in the original blocking for his side, she didn't actually go underneath. She already came out and started talking. Whereas when they started shooting her side, she decided to start below and then came up.
Come on, where's the continuity looking out? Come on set.
It's again, TNG shot very fast. Yeah. They have very little time.
Don't shoot in a super cramped, awkward.
Well, that's what the scene called for. So, I mean, by shooting cramped, it did help set up a feeling of intimacy.
Sure, so but then
I think that was
Sarah.
Also,
you're putting too many eggs in this basket because A, no one cares, and B, they put a fake baby in American Sniper.
That's true.
They put a fake baby in American Sniper for a whole scene, and Bradley Cooper didn't say at one point, he said, Clint, you're gonna CGI this fucking baby, right?
I think he actually did.
But he didn't CGI, dude. This is in the final movie.
No. I think he did actually ask him, are we CGI this
Clint
baby?
Said no.
And Clint said no. Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I guess we'll keep doing it this way.
But they did ask.
My favorite example is Mary Jane holding on to like a dummy of Spider-Man in the first Spider-Man movie in that swinging shot.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's great because actually on first viewing,
still dummy,
you don't really notice.
Yeah, you don't. I didn't.
Yeah. You don't notice until like your second viewing, and then you're like, wait a minute. That's a dummy.
There's an episode of
I love it.
There's an episode of Modern Family where the youngest daughter has like a burrito. She's eating a burrito, and then she has a cat with her.
Yeah, yeah.
And her parents kind of come into to her room and they storm it, and they're like arguing about something. And in the background, the cat goes for the fucking burrito and is fucking chomping down on the burrito. and I'm like,
that's
is nobody
amazing.
fucking noticing this? And like, you could zoom in and you'll see the cat go crazy in the burrito.
So good. I love that. That cat's an opportunistic.
Can
someone answer to me why Worf though is so bothered by the Janai?
Because Klingons are sexist.
Klingons are very conservative by nature. Like, why wouldn't he be a transphobe?
Like he literally at the poker table, he's like, the Janai, they bother me. I don't like them.
And the fact that he's like bothered by the Janai specifically makes him the only like transphobe in this.
Yeah,
you don't know why though. He could be their uniforms, could be their haircuts.
He says haircuts. No males, no females, and he's just like, He
also says it in the context of 2s, 4s, and 6s. Those are female rules.
Yeah,
right. So they're very trying to if they're going to do any sort of both sidesing, it's almost a little bit of that, just Worf just being a jackass about it, and everyone going, why is that?
And
why are you a jackass?
He also says the line, a human and a Janai, and then he says impossible.
He's
you've been on this podcast earlier, Sarah, as an interspecies.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, Sarah.
You're a goddamn. You're a
you don't
worker,
like
dude.
that head thing.
Sarah confirmed for transphobe.
All right. You guys got me on that. You got me on that.
Here's the thing is that no matter what Worf says or does,
he shouldn't be fucking a Janai.
No, he's down for the cause, dude.
That was so cool, actually. Worf was like, "Please do not order me to stay."
Yeah, it was like that scene. It was like that scene in the town where he's like, "I need you to drive me somewhere. I can't tell you what we're doing, and you can never ask me about it again." And he's like, "Am I driving or are you driving?" I love that.
I do also like that Picard seems to also side condone it. He's like, I can't give you permission.
Yeah.
I like how bluntly he says, like, if you're asking for sanction to do this, I can't fucking give that to you.
Yeah.
But you can go rogue.
But he doesn't say you can't do this. He just says, I can't sanction you.
But I can lecture you about the Prime Directive and how Starfleet takes it very seriously.
I hated that, dude.
Don't even
get me started. How seriously Starfleet takes the Prime Directive.
Sarah and I are whispering to each other, they're going to talk about the fucking Prime Directive again, aren't they?
I swear to God. When he said the Prime Directive thing, I got so angry. I was like, fuck you and your Prime Directive, because once again, this does not make any fucking sense. Every time he's just like, Prime Directive. I'm like, no. That's not how that works. Like, I'm sorry, but
it's just that to me,
God.
I think that the moment the Prime Directive became fucked and like can't really be used as a storytelling tool anymore is in Symbiosis, which I don't know if you watched with us, Sarah. It was the druggie episode where there was so just to quickly recap for Sarah and other people who may not have seen it, there is an episode called Symbiosis where there are two planets. One is literally an entire planet full of heroin addicts, and the other is an entire planet of heroin dealers. Yes. And the only way, so when Picard and company come across one of their shuttles, they go, "Oh shit, you guys are in trouble. We'll help you fix your shuttle and do all this stuff," right? But then they learn that one is a bunch of heroin dealers and one is a bunch of addicts. And Picard says, "Well, I can't directly interfere because of Prime Directive."
Wait a minute.
They're like, "Wait a minute." Yeah, literally. That's literally what Beverly says. She goes, "Wait a minute." And there's a scene of her literally being like, "Huh."
She's like,
"That looks like heroin." So then I think she literally says these are opioids. So what happens is Picard is like, "Well, Prime Directive doesn't let me directly intervene. So what I'm going to do is we're not going to fix your shuttle. And they're like, but if you don't fix our shuttle, we can't deal drugs anymore. And he goes, that's not my problem. But that means he can change what the Prime Directive means whenever he fucking wants. Because originally he was going to help them. And he changed his mind by invoking Prime Directive after he learned more information that wasn't about like interference or anything. It was just because he felt it should do it a different way. So that means he can change his mind about the Prime Directive whenever he fucking wants.
Marvin, wait. To be fair, that's how Americans treat the goddamn the Constitution, dude.
That's how all laws are treated.
Yeah, they're like it's our fucking rights to bear arms, dude. He's like, yeah, but as a well-regulated militia, right? No. We want freedom of fucking religion. Yeah, but like it says like separating church and state. No, like we do that all the time. So
yeah, so it's just so like when people try to be like, well, yeah, the Prime Directive's clearly defined. It's like, no, it's not. He literally changes what it means, whatever he feels like. So whenever he brings it up in an episode, it just feels like an excuse. It seems like he's just bringing it up just to support his own point.
It makes no sense at this point. It's comical.
Yeah.
Trust me, bro. If you put in the work, it all becomes clear.
Hey, if you pull yourself up from your bootstraps,
from your Prime Directive straps,
it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they fuck in the forest, and then they're found, and then Soren gets put on trial, and she has to go to conversion therapy, and then Riker and Worf dressed in civilian commando clothes.
Yes, I love this. They look badass. Yeah. They're like in boots, but then Riker does the lamest ambush ever. He's like, "Excuse me, I need to talk to her." You know,
like, so lame.
Like, for once, Worf doesn't job.
No,
he actually holds it down for once.
Yeah. But it's such a weird way to ambush someone to be like, "Excuse me, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to her."
What if they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Yeah, then
go talk to her
anyway. You can't for blood.
Worf comes out anyway and starts beating the shit out.
Worf's like, I guess I wasn't needed here. It's just such an odd way to ambush someone in that situation. I don't know. Riker's so cheesy sometimes. He's so corny. He's so corny.
Riker is like lovably corny. Like,
he's
all
like
the time.
so corny. Yeah. But I do like his love for Soren and how he does fall really fast.
His love in one day.
You know what, Ricardo? He probably had amazing sex. To be honest, he was like,
she did say the sex is great.
Yeah,
maybe they're just gene jamming.
No. She had the toys that he's never experienced before.
Oh, the Demolition Man.
Yeah, exactly. And then unfortunately,
like, look, I've never had anyone, do anything like this.
Maybe she did butt stuff, and he's like, I've never had butt stuff before.
He's the Wild Mambo.
It was 92.
The Hunga Chunga.
Yeah. He's like, let me see this corn husk situation. Let's see how that works.
Oh,
and then the cornhole situation.
Yeah. So,
but unfortunately, by the time he finds her, even though they said they would start the therapy the next day, they seem to have already done it, and she seems to already have been converted.
Yeah, that was fast.
Yeah. So it implies it's something kind of horrifically fast they're doing to her.
Yes.
Mind altering.
Yeah. So that happens. And then it just ends on such a bitter note where, like, he comes back. Picard clearly knows he tried to do something. And Picard is like, is all business concluded? Can we go?
He's like, we have to go pick up something. We're Ubering somewhere else.
We've been told to Uber this other thing. Are you good? And Riker goes, yeah, I'm good. And then it starts zooming in on him as he starts twitching. And it's just...
Yes, he does. Riker does this interesting eye twitch as a actor character.
Yeah, quirk. It's just a complete loss all around. Like, it's...
Yeah, this is a really downer ending for TNG.
Yeah, especially for TNG. I
feel for Riker because it can't be hard to leave someone you love, even if it's just for the moment, but also someone you cared about, and their mind has clearly been altered, wiped because of this crazy
like someone you were madly in love with and who is also madly in love with you, you find out the next day that, oh no, I'm sorry, I was wrong, dog.
I mean, if you're talking about serious, like comparing this to real life, it's a very traumatizing, horrible thing to have to go through.
You do not love Commander William Riker. You love our Janai society. What you are doing is wrong. Wrong.
Yeah. It's terrible. And conversion therapy is still conversion therapy is still a thing, right? So people still
yet another peanut to kiss.
Yeah.
There's still conversion therapy camps.
If anything, some
like
states I think have started like unbanning them. So,
yeah,
that's good.
It's really sad, and I really feel for anybody. I'm lucky to have a life where I've never been put through any experience like that, but I could honestly not imagine having to deny expressing who you really are and whatever gender that may be. I mean, on a very serious note, like I feel lucky that I've never had to go through that in this lifetime, but I don't have any words to express how hard that experience is. And it makes me want to cry thinking about it. Really, it does. I don't know how people go through it.
Well,
yeah.
You have to have a certain level of madness to be able to justify that sort of thing. You have to create this complex network of lies in order to justify it. That type
justify what exactly?
Yeah, justify
that type of bigotry.
Oh, I thought you meant the homosexuality.
I mean that too.
No, because like you need to it's really, really difficult to actually maintain that level of hate. And it requires like an entire system built around it in order to sustain it, And it's just
usually those that hate the most are often repressing those very same feelings.
Or what happens if you hate humanity? What are you repressing?
Oh, that's just
that you're an alien.
That's
fuck,
just
dude.
nature.
I hate all fucking humans. On a completely non-serious note, here's my take at the end of it. If you will indulge me.
Oh yeah.
What if she hadn't had therapy yet? And she's just like, it's gonna be a drag to fucking date this dude. Like, I gotta like fight these assholes, and then like to get out, I could get stuck in the fucking phantom zone right outside the fucking
there's
door.
Actually,
I want to live at home, not on the Enterprise.
Yeah, no. What if she's like, look, I'll tell you a story. Before my wife, I dated a girl, and we met twice out at a restaurant and like at the movies, right? And then I found out where she lived. And I said, this goes no further.
On the west side?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I'm getting a little bit of that. Like, I don't think she had any of the conversion happening. I think she just was like, this is going to be too much of a hassle, dude. I'm out, dude.
She was I'm just going to handle this myself on my planet.
Yeah. I think it's also possible because I think she felt an intense guilt about getting him involved. So there is a potential read that she is making this up on the spot to try to get him to not be entangled and potentially fuck up his own life and career because of her. So
that's actually a very plausible explanation. Yeah.
But we don't know for sure. All we know that is the end result sucks.
She's like, look, I got to deal with my own shit that I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? Like my trauma and my these oppressed fucking people that I live with, and now I got to deal with living on the fucking Enterprise where none of my people will be there. Fuck that, I'm out. And that's how I feel about this.
She could also just feel like she's gonna take care of her issue on her own, or with other people like her that she can find. Maybe she'll start a resistance.
Well, no, because she's gonna get lobotomized the next day.
Well, maybe she gets out of that somehow, or like
this is a very hopeful read.
Yeah.
and also, it's like conversion therapy often doesn't work, right? And it's usually unless in this universe they do some kind of weird brain surgery of some kind. And
I think the implication is some sort of fucking up in the brain.
But like, if we were to go with this theory, I would hope that whatever conversion therapy doesn't work, she finds like-minded individuals like herself, and they start some kind of resistance among the Janai.
Yeah.
For those who do want to choose a gender that they feel they identify with.
Yeah, but you're putting too much into it. The thing is, people are pieces of shit, and they don't usually change.
Hey,
and
these are Janai.
I think the episode wanted people to feel a bit dour about it.
Yeah.
Sure, so, I know. I'm writing my own positive spin on the ending. I know that's probably not what happened, but like Dan said, we're fan fictioning it right now.
Well, what do you think, Dan? What score would you give it?
I would give this an 8 because as clumsy as it was and how it presented its themes, I do think it has a real heart in it.
Yeah.
And I liked the performances therein.
Yeah, I think I'd also give it an 8. I think it's almost an 8 in hindsight, you know? I think if we were less educated, we would probably... I mean, that's a really hoity-toity way of putting it. I think if we were less, like, experienced in it because of the culture we're living in, it would feel less hokey, a lot of it, or less clumsy. And I think for its time, they tried really hard to be progressive. Right. So it's like an 8 in hindsight, you know, like because of all the problems in it. But I think it's trying its best. I mean, Jonathan Frakes is doing his fucking best. Like, he is trying. Like, he's working his ass off to make every scene carry a real level of drama that isn't common for his performances, I think.
It was like 2 episodes in a row where he's like really had to struggle with another culture's norms.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting.
What are you
like,
talking
I don't
about?
want to kill my best friend.
Oh, yeah. You think that's why Worf was in? Because he's like, you almost
were willing to
kill me.
You almost killed me, dude. That was sick.
Also, wow. Worf is back on his legs, kicking ass. He can walk now.
So fast.
He's God. He's
that spine surgery did super well.
In fact, he's twice as powerful now.
Oh my God. It's like a fucking like Fallout upgrade, actually.
Wait. Do you think the surgery did him well, but then he still used those leg bands? So
shit.
Why don't they just use cybernetic enhancements?
Yeah.
Why don't they do lots of things in Star Trek?
Here's my rating for this episode.
Shut up.
Okay,
at the end of the day, this is a show about entertaining people.
That's
and
true.
I was not entertained. I was like Joaquin Phoenix in The Gladiator.
Okay.
I was not entertained.
Interesting.
And I'm gonna. There were some fun things, but like at the end of the day, this is a show that's like vegetables wrapped in delicious bacon. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh, we're getting like this commentary on society. Oh, with this cool sci-fi show, cool. And the balance was off on this one. Like they tried, but it wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna give this a low ball 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I do definitely think they were trying to not put some of the lightheartedness they usually have, probably because they felt like they were talking about something important. This is one of their very special episodes. You know,
I wouldn't be surprised if they advertised it as such.
That's why I had the same problem with The Passion of the Christ, dude. I'm like, you have this whole long ass movie, and you're telling me Jesus never cracked one fucking joke, dude. Not one joke. And if you're telling me,
you're telling me that Jesus, like lugging that cross up that hill, he didn't fart once.
No, or they just make a joke about
so
this.
hard. There's no way that one didn't leak out.
First time. You know, like not one fucking. And also, like, here's the thing: I ask religious people this all the time. Do you think God has a sense of humor? And
yes.
If they say no, I think then this is not a world I want to live in where God exists without a sense of humor, dude. I'm definitely going to hell, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta say
like
yes.
Why would humor be so rampant and existent?
Yeah,
we need humor to survive.
It turns out humor is entirely the devil's creation.
Humor is the devil. All humor.
It's why God was like,
actually,
you know what?
Some people would
I'm
argue
exiling
that.
you to hell because I don't like to laugh.
Foosball is a devil. All right. I'm at a 7. Right. Sarah, did you say yours?
I know. I am at an 8. I agree with Dan and Marvin and you, definitely. Ricardo, I really do agree with you in saying that this episode felt off-balanced. I feel that way too. But here's my wish list that would have made this episode really out of the park, amazing, probably a 9 or something. If Soren was played by a male and identified as male, I think that would have been amazing. And we had Riker in a bisexual relationship, which Jonathan Frakes wanted. So I don't think anyone knows Riker better than Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah.
So
I feel about a male actor identifying as female.
I would argue that the writers know Riker more than Jonathan Frakes.
No.
It came out of them.
Riker is the one that's interpreting Ricardo, everything that's being.
This is one of those things where I think
written.
like the actors having played the part for so long tend to know.
I'll give this to you, but on a movie.
But this is not a movie. This is an ongoing show.
But I'm saying,
I'm
saying like if we're talking about a movie, I would disagree. I would be like, no, exactly. I think the writer knows the character more.
So but, I really wish.
Depending on the movie series. So for example, like I think probably Mark Hamill knows about Luke Skywalker.
Oh, I disagree. If he knew about Skywalker, then he would love The Last Jedi because that makes the most fucking sense.
Does it?
It does. It does.
Does it? I don't know.
I can see myself enjoying either version of the story, but it needs to be a good version.
Yes. Here's the thing. Oh God, we're gonna get so fucking much hate mail. Look, balance of the Force doesn't mean the good guys win.
No, I agree.
Win. Balance is both.
Yeah, it says balance, not overwhelming light.
Jedi. Yeah. That's just that doesn't work. Anyway.
So my wish list: a male, and then Dan, to answer your question about a male presenting or identifying as female, I don't think I trust Star Trek to do that correctly. I don't know.
Tastefully.
I mean, it's fair not to trust them, but this is already your wish list, so I was just curious.
I'm totally fine with that. I think that's fine. Do I trust Star Trek and the writers of this time to be able to handle that and not go into weird cross-dressing tropes that were so common in this time? No, I don't. But it would be awesome. I really don't have a desire one way or the other. It just would have been cool to witness a non-hetero relationship for Riker.
I think one of the reasons also why Frakes petitioned for it to be a male actor is that his argument was, I think, this is supposed to be a homosexuality allegory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's hard to make it a homosexuality allegory when the deviant behavior is heterosexual.
Yes.
So I think if it was male,
and they made it explicitly so, I think that might have almost been by design because they want to make it like we have made it so that normal heterosexual behavior is now wrong, listener.
This is what I was discussing with Sarah.
Is how, like now, how does it feel, buddy? Your love is bad.
Yeah, so this is like a classic sci-fi or fantasy trope, right? Where you reach a land where it's like, the land of the Amazons. Oh, it's a matriarchal society. How do you feel now, men?
Yeah, dude, I hate Wonder Woman.
I do not. I personally do not like. I'm not a huge fan of like flipping things like that. Like, so now the majority is in the minority, and like I just feel like it's a little contrived. And,
my argument is that tactic in and of itself is neutral. It just depends on how well it's executed. For example, Wakanda, as depicted in the Black Panther movie, is probably a generally positive way of doing that role reversal, right? Where this is now a society where Black people thrive.
And are more advanced.
Are actually the most advanced society out of all the societies. So that type of role reversal, I think it helps that it's both created, written, directed, acted, edited, costume design, production design by Black people. So that, they actually have to put their voice into it.
What you're saying is that this episode should have been directed by a Mexican. Because they brought up corn husks.
I brought up the Jerry Taylor thing, and she says like, well, I know I'm not gay, but I am, a woman, so I have gone through some sorts of oppressions and whatnot. But it's not the same. I think it would have been braver to like tag in a gay writer. And just have someone.
Yeah, there's plenty of missed opportunities in this episode, and that's definitely one of them too. Like
especially since they had an open script policy at this time, right?
But you guys are judging it with Teddy standards.
No, absolutely. I'm 100% conceding this.
And you can't. Here's the thing. Look. We all could have wish lists, dude. But the thing is that like your wish list is not 1992 based. It's
true. It's absolutely true.
Based.
Yeah.
And you can't go back in time. There's no time backsies.
Which is why I always say Star Trek is progressive for its time.
Yes.
But there's one thing on my wish list that I think very well could have been handled, which is the eye line. I know I spent very time commenting on this, but it really fucking bothered me. Yeah. You know what? They're fucking professionals. Act like it. Get your eye lines right.
Also, the other part of your wish list, I think,
I don't know, Sarah. Filmmaking back in '92 is pretty primitive.
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
Think about it, dude.
Well, to be fair,
Outcast had just been formed.
The other part of your wish list, I think, could have been done. I mean, like,
they could have matched the eye lines.
No. I mean, the male actor, like Jonathan Frakes himself and other people were like saying, "Why can't it be a dude?"
Yes, and I'm really pissed that Berman blocked it.
Yeah, it's really Rick Berman who said no. Yeah,
I am really mad. You don't know how much I want to see Jonathan Frakes in a bi relationship for personal reasons.
That's on you, Sarah.
Okay, now you're making this weird.
Yeah, dude.
Sarah.
Yeah, dude.
You're making it weird.
We're talking about pooping without pants on, and now you're over here with your sexual fantasies, dude. You were judging us for taking our pants off. Take a shit, dude.
Yes, I'm judging you.
You're a pervert too,
that
dude.
is, and then also on my wish list is I would have liked, I don't know, just more
Cornhusk play.
I would have liked more explanation on the Cornhusk. No, I'm kidding.
I would have.
Yeah, no, I would have actually liked a little bit more explanation. I understand that there's probably just not time to go into that, but this does leave me wondering. So the ending leaves it very open. Like, is Soren going to come back into Jonathan Frakes' life? Is there a world where they cross paths?
I don't think it leaves it open at all.
No, it's not open at all.
I don't think it's open at all.
Well,
I don't know why you're getting that at all.
It's very close.
Like the card literally S is our business with the Janai finished.
I think it's devastatingly closed. I don't think there's any room for interpretation there.
We're not watching where you're getting that
episode, dude. Go back to fanfic.net.
Yeah, dude.
I get it. You guys are saying that, okay, she's gonna go through conversion therapy, it's all written out, he's never gonna see her again, but part of me wonders, will he see her again?
No.
That's not in the text at all.
Yeah, no.
We're just
not in the text. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it certainly isn't implied in the show. If that's
dude.
It's not implied.
She comes back in Picard, dude. In the third season of Picard, dude.
I don't think anything's off. A random child of Worf's showed up, one day, and he ended up becoming a father. Like, I think random things happen on the show. So
but at least you saw them have sex.
Hey, they had sex off screen. Maybe. I don't know. A Janai baby,
Not one Tapatio bottle in this episode, dude. That's my wish list.
I don't know. I mean, I do give it credit for being progressive for its time. But yeah, overall, I give it an 8.
They very much tried. Yeah.
They tried, but there's just there's a lot of issues. And yeah, at the core, at the end of this, they mix up sex and gender
and sexuality. They combine all of them into one thing.
They completely make it one ball, which is it's many separate balls. And then also pun intended, it's many separate balls, it's multiple balls. And they just I feel like this episode is more about trans identity and identifying with your gender versus like your given sex.
I don't even think that. I don't think that. So, I think that it's somewhere in the middle. And they couldn't write something clearly.
Yes.
I don't even know if at the time people knew what transgender people were.
I stand by my statement. They didn't know.
I don't think they understood that at all.
Let me put it into context for you, Sarah. I remember very clearly in middle school, I was watching Dateline. And towards the end of Dateline, they had this quick 10-minute segment of like, mysterious Japanese woman seems to have a penis. How does that work? And then like they had this guy who was married to her, like say, "Oh, we had sex somehow, but she has a penis." And then like I remember watching tons of like, investigative journalism, things like that, where it's like this person opted to have breasts but kept their penis. What does that mean? What type of sex are they? So like this is a world back then where they had no idea what to talk.
I mean, what you're talking about is normal, common daytime television topics that were on Oprah. You know, like we had, these were things
fucking
that
Jerry
you would
Springer
see.
shit, where
Jerry Springer, yes, Jerry
they
Springer.
would bring this up, be like,
Oprah,
what are you doing?
Yeah, like a big, like, oh, this person, what are you? Come on, you have a penis, and you know, like
quotation
this horrible,
marks, my ex is now a man.
Yeah, you know, this kind of like crazy exploitation,
and that was well into the 2000s, like, you know, so
the spectacle of it all. But I do like that, you know, Soren does have a good couple moments in the courtroom where she's describing just being herself, you know, just wanting to be herself, which is something that I think we can all identify with, no matter how we identify, male, female, non-binary, whatever it may be. We all just want to be ourselves and accept
and love who we want to love.
And love who we want to love. And honestly, I don't know why people have such a big problem with that. Like, how about you just worry about your own life? And other people will live their lives.
Well, you know,
that's it. Like, it doesn't affect me. I'm not in your bedroom. We're not having sex. So you. So
what's it to you if I take off my pants when I poo?
Exactly.
Yeah,
come on, Dan.
Sarah, you were judging us earlier, dude.
You should be. That is horrible.
When you point one finger at us, you're pointing 3 back at you, dude.
Look, I can judge you for taking your clothes off.
Well, on that note, thank you everybody for listening to.
As long as it's on record.
Thank you.
Another episode of Newbie Star Trek. If you've been liking it,
this was a fun episode.
It was really not fun. It was not entertaining.
No, it was interesting.
If you liked it, you could give us a review or a rating or leave a comment.
Please give us a review.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Comment.
Don't give us a review.
The people who will do so. It's fine.
No, here's the thing.
You don't got to keep hustling them like this. They're already here.
Yeah,
I gotta hustle.
If you tell people to not do it, they'll do it.
Don't leave us a review.
Don't leave us a review, dude.
Don't do it.
Hey,
guys, at this point, we're discouraging people.
Yeah, go out there, have fun, dude. Get a VPN.
You guys get so offended when I say, like,
guys,
leave a review. Everyone's like, whoa, Sarah.
Get yourself.
You're this close to calling on people to smash that like button, Sarah.
Yeah, dude. No, dude.
Everyone, remember to smash that like button.
It's cool, Sarah. It's cool to not ask for anything now. That's what the kids are doing.
You know what? You guys don't owe me anything. How about that?
It's true.
Here's the thing, guys.
You truly do not. Thank you just for listening. That's all.
Or not listening.
You download ExpressVPN, pay for it, and you go to YouPorn or Pornhub, whatever you do, X videos, RedTube, whatever your thing is into, you know, and look up.
Name 3
your
more.
Your favorite porn. Look up your favorite porn. Enjoy that today, dude.
Yeah,
because you might not have that freedom.
Do that for us.
That's what you should do.
And
give them.
And go inseminate your corn husks.
No, guys, this is what I want you to do, guys. You go out there, go to Pornhub, and rate your favorite porno. Give it a thumbs up.
Oh,
you can do that
thumbs up.
Oh,
yeah,
give it a good comment, for that.
Dude. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of like one time it was like this collection of hilarious like actual Pornhub comments because
me too. I love those.
Yeah, and it's like my favorite one is it just says it's Bonner time with 2 N's.
No, my favorite is
I'm just imagining that with the energy of the Red Ranger saying it out loud really hard.
It's Bonner time.
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite comment is because a lot of these lists will have a screenshot of what they're talking about, and my favorite one was one guy that was like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Is that the Millennium Falcon Lego set number blah, 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 blah? And then they started arguing about what Lego set that Millennium Falcon was that was on the set.
Oh, that's so good.
That's sick.
That's amazing.
And then...
guys, get that fucking pussy out of the way. I need to see what the fucking color
there's
is.
There's another one, and this is a real one, because someone sent me a link to it. There's one... Now, I can't remember for sure what it was, but... like some guy was like, hey, I'm like 18 years old. I'm going into college. I don't know where to put this. Can someone help me with this fucking application? And like the people were helping this dude with his college application.
That's sick.
That's so cool.
Amazing.
And different people started jumping in like, oh, do this, do this.
Maybe we should advertise our podcast on one of these.
We should, dude.
I know of at least one successful math tutor that started a channel like exclusive. Yeah, just because he knew it was going to be novel and stuff. Like he made some success off of that.
People do Let's Plays on Pornhub and whatnot, and they do okay.
Yeah. I don't know if the fad's died down by now. I think it must have, but it was a thing.
Your Baldur's Gate
I'll play Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate does sex in that game already.
Yeah, there's tons of. It would not be novel. There's just tons of sex in that game. So.
Hell yeah, dude.
But if you guys ever want to send us an email and contact us directly, you can always email us at contact@newbiestartrek.com. That's contact@newbiestartrek.com. This week, we got a letter from Lynn, who happened to be talking exactly about this episode. Hey, my name is Lynn, she, her. I found you guys from TikTok late last year, and after catching up on all the posted podcasts at the time within a few weeks, I've been a regular listener since then. I just finished listening to the episode for Season 5, Episode 16, Ethics. I am an ex-Jehovah's Witness and transgender, so it was wild to me that Jehovah's Witnesses got mentioned in this episode, as the next episode, Outcast, carries a lot of personal meaning for me. It's crazy and sad not only how ahead of its time this episode feels, but also how relevant this episode is, with over 500 anti-LGBTQ plus bills being introduced just this year in the US. Obviously, this episode touches on conversion therapy, as well as there is plenty of research to demonstrate how harmful it can be. I love this episode, and the somber ending still hits just as hard after many rewatches. I can't wait to hear you all talk about it, as it is one of my favorites of the series for sure. There is no question here. I just wanted to reach out and say that I love listening to you guys, and I look forward to your podcasts every week, even when they're not every week. P.S. Since I am an ex-JW, here is some extra content details around their views on blood transfusions, just in case y'all are interested. Essentially, their refusal of blood transfusion revolves around a biblical belief that blood is considered sacred and a representation of your life. Therefore, your blood, or any of its four major parts, plasma, red cells, white cells, and platelets, should not be given away, and someone else's blood should not be put into you. If a certain medical procedure were to break down blood into even smaller fractions in the blood's four major parts, that would be considered a matter of conscience, as some people may feel that the blood is broken down small enough. It would not be a representation of life anymore. As Ricardo mentioned as well, medical procedures involving your own blood being taken out of your body and then put back in would also be a matter of conscience for each individual person, and the specific circumstances of how the blood is handled would also probably factor in. But yeah, that's what Lynn had to say.
You got to hold the blood away from cheese. You can't hold
if this blood touches cheese.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I wanted to say before we move forward. There's a thing I wanted to say, and I'm trying to remember because I forgot already.
Yeah.
I think I remember. Oh yeah, I remember. So the thing is, like, look, we complained about this episode because it didn't touch on enough things that we wanted, or it wasn't progressive enough, and I get it. But here's the thing: is like it's still universal because people think, by people I mean conservatives, think that it's something new. Oh, it's trending. It's like the fucking TikTok. People love to be gay. They love to be trans.
It's in the water.
And it's like motherfucker. Like there was gays from the beginning of existence, bro. Alexander the Great, dude.
There's gay penguins.
Yeah. Anytime you hear a story in the Bible or in any literature where they're like, well, he was a strange guy, kept himself. He was fucking gay, dude. He was fucking gay, dude.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
He was never married and had no children.
Yeah. He had a lot of cats. A fucking gay, dude.
They were roommates for an awfully long time.
Same with witches too, right? With
witches,
women.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
guess what?
Witches were code word for lesbians.
They were just gay. They were just lesbians, dude.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is that this is a new thing. It's been happening, and I'll say this, dude. I'll give you my personal beliefs, dude. I don't care, dude. I've said it once, and I'll say it again, dude. My kid could like anybody they like, could be any gender, and like any sexuality. But if he fucking asks me for money from Burning Man, I'll fucking disown him. That's right.
You know what's the funniest part? Every time you say this, one of our biggest fans, at least our oldest fans, loves Burning Man. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this person,
and they're still listening. I guess they heard it like 4 times now, so like we're good.
This person, dude, probably likes their tamales with fucking banana leaves.
Like, it's too late for that guy. Yeah, he knows.
Yeah,
he knows it's too late.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on the Burning Man, especially after this past year's Burning Man.
That's where I discriminate, dude.
Totally
if someone tells me I love Burning Man, I spit in their face, dude, and I say, "Get out of here, burner."
I think don't they call themselves that?
Yeah,
is that a thing? Okay,
yes,
I didn't know that. Okay,
they're burners. Yes.
Oh, yeah. They're not burning men.
No. That would be exclusive.
Well, if they're female, they're Bernices.
I don't know. They could be weirdly exclusionary. I don't know.
Anyway, hey, by the way, Lynn. I appreciate your email. I'll say this personal thing. I have a close family member who's a Jehovah's Witness, and when we were growing up, he was like a brother to me. Like literally, we're cousins, but he was like a brother. Right. To me. We were more like brothers. And when we were in high school and growing up, he'd kind of separated himself. Like that side of the family were like half in, half out, trying to stay in, but specifically all the cousins were kind of out, and the parents were fully in. Mm-hmm. And so growing up, like we had it was a really weird relationship with that side of the family, because it was like, well, definitely no birthdays, right? And then like definitely like no Christmas celebrations and stuff. And so it was weird, because I did look, and I still love him like a brother. My love for him didn't change, but like as we got older and we started working and stuff, like it'd be a thing where it's like, oh, even though I hate Christmas, just as not because of Jehovah's Witnesses or anything, I just fucking hate Christmas. I'd still be like, oh, I love this person, I'm gonna give him a gift, and he'd be like, no, you can't give me a gift. But he would always be like, I'm gonna give you a gift that coincides with Christmas, but this isn't a Christmas gift. But you can't give me anything. And I'd always feel weird, like, oh, I feel like he's gonna go back, and eventually he did go back after we graduated high school. And I definitely felt like like I was shunned, like because that's what kind of is part of the thing. It's like, hey, if someone's not a Jehovah's Witness, then they're like basically a bad influence, right? Yeah,
there's for some of these. Yeah, I think it's like a similar thing with like Mormons. Yeah, I remember very directly when I was helping Dan actually shoot something in the streets of La Jolla in San Diego area, and two Mormon children passed by, because there's a big ass Mormon church there, and then they walked by very well dressed, and one of them attempted to hand me literature, and the other one said, don't touch him, he's dirty. So, well,
I don't know if they go this far.
How dirty were you at the time?
This is more like
to be fair, it was in the summertime.
You were a bad. It's like you're kind of a bad influence. But anyway, that's. I hope that you're doing okay with that. Like that. Like I know sometimes if you have family members that are Jehovah's Witnesses, I know it can be hard to be like, oh, this person really isn't speaking to me, especially if you left the religion. And I hope you're doing all right with that.
Especially
I hope you have enough
people
friends
that you love so much and share so much of a life with. But
I hope that your friends are aplenty, and they have they mean more to you than sometimes family. And that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah,
Lynn, I want to say thank you so much for sending your email in. It really means a lot to me. This episode touches on topics that are extremely important to me, and I just have a lot of personal stuff when it comes to topics about LGBTQ rights and situations that just it's something that I'm fiercely passionate about, and I just I'm really happy to see that this episode is progressive for its time, but it leaves a lot to be desired in 2023. But I'm happy that watchers like you can find comfort, enjoyment, maybe even some, I don't know, just some recognition, could get something out of this episode that was meaningful to you.
Sometimes it's good to just know that your issue is being recognized.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, this is during a time when the AIDS epidemic and persecution of gay and lesbian people, or queer people in general, was just so rampant. So I'm happy that it's being addressed, it makes me more happy that you as a fan felt connected to this episode in that way. So yeah, thank you for writing in and also providing the context for the Jehovah's Witness transfusion part, because I personally do not know a lot about it, and I don't have any family members or friends that are Jehovah's Witness, but that was very informative. I did not know all of that. So now I do.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
The double whammy of good input.
Yeah.
You are awesome, Lynn. Thank you. And thank you for listening.
Lynn, but I also want to put you in your place and say that you're a human, so you're also a piece of shit like all of us. I just want to be clear.
Can't forget.
Yeah, at the end of the day. Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all pieces of shit.
Yes.
No matter how you identify, she, he, they, them.
Straights, All pieces of shit.
It's like
our pronouns are all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
It's like the end of the Simpsons episode. Don't forget, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Guys, thanks for listening. If you like what we're doing, don't leave us a comment.
But you might head over to fugitiveframes.com and see what other things we're doing over there. We got some other stuff.
Yeah.
Or not. Whatever.
Go to Pornhub and help somebody out.
Do your Jackin' and Jill and off in Pornhub.
Go to Pornhub, leave a comment on your favorite video saying, go listen to Newbie Star Trek.
Tell them Newbie Star Trek sent you.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be kind of sick, actually.
Say Newbie Star. Leave a comment on your favorite porn video, any website. Yeah. Say Newbie Star Trek sent me.
RedTube, XVids.
Yeah, all of it. All of them,
dude.
This is
just
a movement.
Go down the list. Down the list.
I don't know any
Star
of them.
Trek sent you.
I've never been any of those.
And then, can you put a link? Right. Can you put a link in comments on the site?
Video.
Oh, great. So there you go. Newbie Star Trek sent me, and then a link, and then half the people will not even know what the hell you're talking about, but it'll be funny.
It'll be great.
It'll be an inside joke between us all.
We'll get
it. America, whatever you're into, dude.
And then alternate, if you are someone that came from a comment on a porn site, please let us know.
Let us know what porno was. Let us know. Send us the link.
Please let us know.
At least tell us the category.
So tell us the genre of porn you came from. Yes. But next week
we're here uniting worlds like Star Trek, dude.
Look at that.
Beautiful world, dude.
Star Trek and porn. A world that's already well acquainted, but could become closer if we wanted it to. So
I want to make a correction before we log off.
Okay.
Correction.
We're all perverts and pieces of shit at the same time.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's human. That's called being
nature,
human.
Dude. Yeah, dude.
You actually cannot be successful as a species if you're not perverted in some capacity.
Dude. I always tell I don't want to say this story. This is a horrible.
Save it for next time.
We'll have to leave that hanging. But next time we're going to watch.
Patreons.
It's for the Patreon.
What?
We'll tell the story in our Patreon.
God damn it. We don't have any such sort. But next week, we're watching Cause and Effect. I won't say what it's about, but I will say.
What the fuck with these titles? Outcast,
fun celebrity cameo next week.
Really? I'm so ready for it.
I think I saw it in the
That's all
thumbnail.
I'll say. That's all I'll say.
Dude.
All right,
Cause and Effect. Friends.
Cause and Effect next week. Goodbye, everyone.
It's Marcel the Monkey.